to it.
Do we need the headphones on?
No, I just like to have the headphones on. Okay, so. All right. Welcome to another episode of In Our Lane. I feel like y'all sitting higher than me.
I don't know. My seat was kind of high.
I'm tall. I think it's just because
my seat is high.
I have a different
I'm on my
type
toes.
of chair. But anyways, it's okay.
Okay.
I just look so small. That's why I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's like a layered table.
Yeah.
Slanted.
Okay, welcome to another episode of In Our Lane podcast. I am Emmeisha. You guys can follow me at EMMEISHA, and you can follow the podcast at _In Our Lane. We have Miss Mina and Rhea in the building. Okay, so y'all know I've been in the gym consistently. I have been really focused, and so that's why I had to bring my girls in the building. So I met Mina in a very interesting situation. I don't want to go too far in detail because I'm not gonna give no free promos. So
Right.
But anyways, we kind of like clicked, and so followed each other. You know, the usual how everybody do. And so I wanted to bring her on here to talk about nutrition, and she's also a recovery coach. And so, and you are also in the fitness world as well, and you are, what did you say? She's competing.
I'm a personal trainer and competitor.
Yes.
And tell them what kind, because, you know, everybody thinks of, like, people that bodybuild have to be, like, these super, like.
Yeah,
right.
Different
That's why when I saw you, I was like, okay, so maybe it's a different type of competing, because I was really expecting you to be
like brolic.
Yeah.
No, there's different type of divisions. I'm in the wellness division.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And wellness
Learn
means
something
what?
new every day.
Wellness means big in the quads, big in the hamstrings, and glutes, more so ass area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Learn
So I
something
get to keep
new.
my
She the glute doctor.
Yeah.
Get me right. Get me right. Could. Woo.
Listen, it is a struggle for us all. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, the topic of the day, I wanted to focus on nutrition and meal planning, because I feel like a lot of people, they like, oh, working out, but it's also what you eat too. So, tell the people about how important it is about their food and meal planning.
Okay, so we have to eat every single day.
Yeah.
But things come up throughout the day. So meal prepping for people in general, I think would be the best situation, honestly. I mean, I even think of like later on in the future having families. I'm like, we will be meal prepping, because if we're going to be super busy throughout the week, you don't want to be like, oh, we can't do what we need to do, so like let's go grab McDonald's, because I feel like that's what happens. Yeah, and it saves you a bunch of money too.
I feel so sad when I have those moments where I'm like, I really don't have time to cook, so let me just
go grab something because you're still hungry. Yeah, but at least if you even, there's gonna be days where, like, you know, I won't say her more so, but how some of us will meal prep and we have like food in the refrigerator so that we know we can go and grab. But maybe we just don't feel like waiting till we get home, or maybe we just don't want what we cooked already because we've already had it a few times throughout the week. So still knowing what you should be eating is important. So that way when you do go somewhere, even if it's not the best choice in the world, at least it's the best option there that can go towards your goals still.
So instead of getting that large fry, sis, pick the salad.
But make sure the protein is in there. Make sure the protein. I ain't even tripping on the damn salad. I'm worried about where can I get the protein at, okay?
Okay, so I need to focus on eating protein.
Yes.
Okay.
You're definitely eating out, for sure.
Eating out, okay.
The protein is the most important thing. But, I mean, I think that, you know, with TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, people are able to learn a little bit more as long as what they're looking at is correct information. So it has been a thing that when people think of protein, they're thinking of, I'm trying to gain weight or I'm trying to get muscular, versus it being like it's just best for your overall health to have so much protein. And most people, especially women, undereat their protein amount that they should be hitting for the day. So,
I feel like
you know, yeah. So I know we have a friend, and like, you know, we were like been working on her getting like more protein in. So like, she trains at 10 o'clock. So honestly, by that time, how many times have you eaten by that time? Yeah. She's like, you said once? I'm like, by that time I've already had 2 meals.
But basically
10, 8?
Yeah, 10 a.m. Yeah.
You've ate twice.
I've eaten twice. I've had.
She get up early.
Yeah, but
So
right.
just
That's
on your
what time.
schedule,
Mhm.
like, if you don't get up that early, then
I get up early.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I need to be.
You should be eating ideally every 3 to 4 hours. Every 3 to 4 hours. And so, like, you just kind of trickle what you need. That's why the meal planning part is important, because when you're then planning what you're eating for the week, you divvy out your protein or like your carbs and stuff like that. So it's not like if you just go into it thinking, oh, I need to hit 200 grams of protein. And then everywhere you go, you're now looking for like, how can I get a bunch of protein?
The person too.
Yeah.
Like the person 2-3 hours or 3 to 4 hours.
Okay, so I'm not eating enough.
Most people aren't.
Be like, I eat twice a day. Absolutely. Not. 3 times.
I do a good. Okay, so when I was really like trying to gain weight, I was eating like 6 times a day.
But what were you eating?
Okay, so my breakfast would probably be like 2 eggs, probably like 2 or 3 pieces of bacon, and like 2 waffles. And then like I'll have a snack, which would be like fruit or maybe like granola bar or something like that. And then for lunch, I'll probably have like a salmon burger. And then I have like another snack, like another fruit or some other,
That's better than most people.
some other like, I don't know, like little, the little nut and cranberry trail mix thing or something like that. And then I have dinner. And then for dinner, I eat a lot of salmon. So like probably salmon, rice, and Brussels sprouts.
So like in that day, and of course it probably is not exactly, but like just counting, knowing what you probably ate and how much of it you ate, you were under like 100 grams of protein.
Damn.
And trying to gain weight. Like, I don't know your weight, but I know you don't weigh like
right
70
now?
pounds.
Like
70
right
pounds
now,
would be what somebody would need to have like 100 grams of protein if they're trying to gain weight.
I'm like 156 right now.
Yeah, so you should be having that amount of protein plus some more if you're trying to gain. But there's like a whole, like there's so much you have to like play with and things like that. But overall, from many conversations that I've had and even just my own experience, especially women, we do not eat enough protein throughout the day. And so then it delays a lot of the results that we're looking for.
I was wondering, because I've been in the gym, but I'm just like, why is my body not being snatched? Like, I'm confused. I know it's gonna take a minute, but it's just like at the same time I'm just like, dang, like I really don't eat that much. But that's not the thing. I need to eat more. Okay.
Are you a cardio maniac?
No.
Oh, okay.
Please do not. Like I stay away from. I do a little bit like on full body days. I'll do a little cardio, but other than that, I just do like leg exercises, upper body exercises.
Okay. You're doing the back exercises to unbig your back.
Yes. I am a part of the unbig back because at first it was 2 rows back there. Now it's just 1.
Okay.
So we
That's good. That's great.
Right.
Back makes a difference. I'm telling you, the back makes a difference.
Ooh, that's what I learned. That's why I wasn't getting that hourglass shape that I want because I wasn't targeting the back. But now I'm starting to target the back.
Yeah. That's this girl right here. Listen, we are, so this is one of my really good friends, but she's my trainer. And, I've had my journey with, like, I've had 3 trainers. She's my 3rd trainer. And every time I've had, one in the past, like, it's just gotten better. I learned my body a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So, like, when you first, like, after playing basketball for so long or whatever, and the only thing I knew for workouts was whatever I did with basketball. Mm-hmm. My coach wasn't into strength and conditioning. He was just making us do something to sweat with some weights.
Right.
So there was like no intentionality behind it. So when I was done playing basketball and I'm trying to work out by myself, now I'm like not knowing what the hell I'm doing, and my body's no longer burning so many calories from playing basketball, Mm-hmm. So like I'm having to figure out all kinds of things. So then I moved out here, got a trainer, great trainer. It really got me to like lose weight or whatever. But then I started training with somebody else, and that's when I started to build more muscle. And then I transitioned to working with just lower body for her because I've been wanting to grow my ass. And but of course, that comes with other things. We don't get to really decide like what happens with our bodies and when and stuff like that. So now I full-time train with her, and my body looks the best that it has looked ever in my life. Period. But it's also like it's her training. We go super heavy, but we also it's the eating. We play around with like how I'm eating. I'm somebody that when I go somewhere, it is very hard for me to find something to eat.
So you looking at the menu like,
Yes. But not even on some like, oh my God, like why don't they have grilled, blah, blah, blah. I'm pescatarian.
Okay.
So that limits me already because everybody just has a bunch of chicken. Like if they're looking for like a healthy option, it's always going to be like grilled chicken or something like that. So some places, of course, they do have their seafood or whatever. So, okay, cool. So I'm pescatarian, but I also don't do dairy anymore. So a lot of times when people are making these dishes, they're putting creams and all this kind of stuff like that on there, or there's cheese somewhere.
I love a good cream sauce.
I mean, we all do. We all do, but I can't have it with the dairy in it anymore.
I'm trying to cut back on cheese. I really am. I'm trying.
They say it's like crack.
It's
I've never been a fan
to
of
eat a meal without cheese.
There's replacements for everything.
There's
replacements for everything, but I understand because there are some things that I'm just like, damn, like some cheese on this would be like fire. Like I've been making, like if I'm in the mood for a baked potato, I'll do a baked potato with some, I air fry my fish now. So I just air fried some salmon, some barbecue sauce, and some avocado. It is the best baked potato that I've had. However, when I used to eat baked potatoes for so long, I would always have that string of cheese coming out of it. So like my experience with eating the baked potatoes now is way different than it was before because I'm looking for like the experience of like, oh, let me get some of this cheese out. Yeah. But dairy is just, oh man, it's like, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. But outside of like looking to see what it would do with my body, because it can change people. Some people process dairy better than others. And some people like it doesn't, you won't see them bloating a lot from it and things like that. However, for some of us, it does do it. So I was doing it for that reason, but also over like the COVID time, I ended up getting hand eczema. And I heard that like the flare up, it got really bad. I had never had it, but it got really bad. And I was told that dairy sometimes can stop eczema from happening. And so that was my push because the first time I did it, I went to go eat something and I read it afterwards and it said contains milk, and I was like, I can't do this. I just can't do this shit. Like it was some stupid stuff. Like why does it have milk in it? Wow. But
I gotta start reading labels.
Girl, label reading.
Label will change your life.
We sending pictures back and forth of like something that we found that we really like, that it's really good and it like helps us with our meals or whatever, and we'll just send we'll send whatever it is, but then we always are gonna send the nutrition label too.
You gotta broaden your horizon when you go grocery shopping. Like change the stores you go to. There's a place.
I don't even go grocery shopping no more. I get mine delivered.
Instacart it?
Okay,
No.
It is right on Instacart too, but at the same time.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah, look at the nutrition label, but I feel like, especially this girl right here,
I would go on every single grocery shop.
She is a Sprouts head.
Yeah,
so she's going to Sprouts, but like she's really good at like, she has really good eyesight. Just in general, she has really good eyesight. So when she's in there, she's like finding new products. She's like, look at this, I found this, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, if she can eat it because she's in prep season or whatever, then I'm like, well, damn, I can definitely add that unless it has dairy in it. But
I don't eat dairy. I don't like go for anything that has dairy in it either.
Okay, I got a lot of work to do.
It's just small changes though.
No, I'm working. It's easy for me to make diet changes because I was a vegetarian at one point, so that's not going to be hard. It's just actually taking the extra mile of reading the labels and making sure that
it'll stop you from eating so much sometimes. I ain't gonna say that all the time. Like, I mean, there's times where if I go to Sprouts and I go get a thing of cookies, like, I'm not looking at that label. I'm intentionally about to fuck this shit up, okay?
Makes your body feel like if you wake up bloated or like you ate something that's just not giving your body what it needs, you're not gonna want to eat it again. You're gonna try to find a substitute.
Yeah, because
it's not worth it.
It gets to a point, where you start to notice, like, damn, like, I just told her I stopped eating broccoli, and broccoli's healthy.
Every time she kept telling me, she was like,
damn, my stomach is hurting.
What'd you eat? And she said, I had some broccoli, and I'm like, That's your problem every single time.
Every time, but because at first I didn't know. At first I did not know whatever, and then I was like, I said, man, I think it's the broccoli because that's the only thing that I'm like having out like randomly. Man, so it does. But see, that was my green vegetable for so long that like the idea that it's no longer something I can have because it's making my body's reacting to it differently. Like you have to be in a totally different mental space when it comes to this stuff because broccoli is it's everywhere. If anybody has a vegetable, there is broccoli. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like, you have to say like, no, I can't have this because my body's going to then react. Like you're going to get to like people should start getting to a point where you do start paying attention to like those days where you feel gross. And like and maybe it happens like every time you go to one place, then you got to start like picking out like, okay, maybe I won't try this anymore or I won't have this anymore. And then like tomorrow, do you feel better or do you still feel the same thing? You got to it's like people call it the elimination diet. And it's not so much that I'm like looking for things to eliminate. Again, I'm pescatarian and I don't do dairy. So like I can't eat a lot already. But if I start to notice that things are making me feel heavier or making me feel bloated or giving me really bad gas, like I'm like, it's just not worth it. Like I don't care how many years I love this one thing, if it is now making my body feel or look a certain way, I just don't want to deal with it because I don't have to. So like it makes a big difference,
Right. Okay, so let's talk about it. Recovery coaching.
Yeah.
So explain what that is.
Okay, so I call myself a recovery coach because people mistake me for an athletic trainer. I'm not an athletic trainer. I cannot diagnose you with what your injury is. However, when someone comes to me and they know what their injury is, then I can go into like, research into it a little bit or whatever and see like what muscle groups are most affected by this or like what things do we need to strengthen, so I can incorporate strength training into it also, because a lot of the times when we're hurt, it's because something's weak. So instead of just stabilizing it and not, icing it and things like that, you need to get it moving, but you need to know what it is that you need to move. Right. So of course, like one of the things that I see people the most about is their lower back hurting, because most of us have lower back pain, including myself sometimes. It doesn't matter if you know what you should be doing or what you already are doing. If your body is just overworked in some areas, or if you have like, weak areas, and like everything gets affected by it. So, even though I'm treating them for their lower back, I'm only doing so many just back stretches. I'm stretching your lower body. So I'm stretching your hips, doing maybe mobility moves for your hips. So that strengthens them. And then you're talking about your quads and your hamstrings, and then maybe your upper back too. It just depends, but like, it's not just one thing whenever something's wrong. It's always more than likely it is other things around it that's causing it to be stressed out. Right. So that is what I do. So not ideal, but like the person or the client that I deal with the most are athletes. Being an athlete myself, I tore my ACL meniscus when I was in 8th grade, and that has just changed everything for me.
I tore my meniscus too.
Yeah, man. No, it was terrible. It was terrible. I was not strength training. I was just playing basketball. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people at that age were also, but I didn't have anybody around that was able to teach me about how I should be treating my body. The only thing that I knew was, you should stretch, because that's what your coaches say. Make sure you stretch. Literally, I remember before that game that I tore my ACL meniscus, the assistant coach came in the bathroom and like the locker room was like, hey, make sure you guys stretch. And I tore my ACL that game. And it was just like, I always just remember that just because, I don't know, that was just one of the things that I remember from that, pregame or whatever. But yeah, it changed my outlook on everything as far as like athleticism goes, because I can't do a lot of things. My recovery did not go well at all. I got a cadaver, so they gave me a dead person's ACL and stuff like that, and that was one of the ways that they said was the most effective. So I did that. It wasn't until, so this was 2007. It wasn't until like 2019, I think, maybe 18, that I found out that my quad never reattached correctly. So that's the reason why when we're doing like ISO work or whatever, my right quad is like, I can't go as high in weight as I can on the left side. So that has, over time, I didn't know. I was still going to physical therapy and things like that. But again, I'm just doing these things. People aren't teaching me what's going on. So, becoming a teacher, And then, like, you know, I did not go to school for physical therapy. I had started to, but then I changed my major. I ended up becoming a math teacher, and I was still coaching. So I'm still around basketball players and things like that. You're noticing all these things that, like, as a player yourself, that you were getting hurt or your teammates were getting hurt. And it's just like, all of it can't be avoided, but some of it can be, like, taught to be a little bit more proactive about. So I ended up getting my certification in stretch therapy, and that was like my official way of being like, okay, I learned a little bit more. But as I've taught myself more about like mobility and just what strength training can do for your body as far as, you know, recovering or preventing injury, it's just been crazy. So that is why I'm also working on getting my certification in like strength training, strength and conditioning, just because I want to learn more, which is also why it's so great to have this girl around, because she's so fucking smart in this shit. And she knows so much about the body. It's ridiculous. Also, you get to see what muscles look like, because this girl's like a human anatomy book.
So, talk to us a little bit about competing. Like, how did you get into that, and like, what motivated you to start and all that good stuff?
Okay, I'm just going out. So my first sport was really swimming. I swam for 12 years.
Okay.
So after that, I did cross country for a year, and I was into athletic training.
I don't know how y'all do.
Yeah, I was.
Girl, like, I love lifting weights, but I do not fuck with
One year. So after that, I really just got into the gym because like the season was over, and I was like, all right, I need a job. So I started working at Lifetime Fitness, and I worked there at 16. Then moving forward, like through college, I kept working out. I went to this gym. What was it, FDL? Yeah. When I went to FDL, one of the coaches there were like, you know, you should compete. And I was like, nah. Like,
that's not for me.
No, they're too muscular. I was like, no, I don't like the way they look. It's not my thing. And I always said that. So this new division came out, it was wellness, and it was like back from Brazil. And I was like, okay, like I kind of like that. And I never had
they
a
look
backside.
good.
Like they look
good.
when I say serving like
You already know Brazilian got that ass, but man, these girls look good.
Waist, everything was just it was like really motivating to see that. And I've always worked out for just because I like the way I felt, and I like the way, you know, made me feel all the time. So I'm like, let me just kind of like take a step forward, I guess. I never had an ass at all, no legs, nothing like that. I was just skinny, 5'9", whatever. I still had muscle, but it wasn't like, it wasn't the way it looked now, basically.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is another challenge. You know, it's something that's gonna like test my journey, like to see how strong my discipline is. And honestly, it just brought me here 3 years later. So I started in 2020, and I've done 5 shows, and I have my 6th one in 12 weeks or 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm aiming for a pro card.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I know you're gonna do great.
Yeah.
Period.
When I got into the bodybuilding world, I realized like it took it more outside of fitness because people are really dedicated to this. And I actually realized how hard of it, like myself going through a prep, man, it's not easy at all. And I gave me watching it and like watching the Olympians, it's like I call it the Super Bowl of fitness, going to Olympia. Okay. That's how big it is. And I never realized how much people are really interested in watching these people on stage. I'll be like these shows are packed every year. Every single one.
You'd be surprised what people spend their time.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not in, like, this is not my sport. But it is so dope watching them like prep for this stuff, you know, because like you think about like the diet and you like telling yourself like, oh, like I'm gonna get better. I want to go. No, they're like, this is what I need to have, and I need to have it right now. If I don't have it right now, well, man, all right, well, like there's no excuses for. I mean, of course, I'm sure people like, you know, fuck up here and there or whatever, but like when you watch their determination and like how much time they're doing cardio and like there's no way for you not to like witness them in the works of like preparing for shows or whatever, and not just be like, not respect the sport.
Right.
You know,
it's physical, there's more mental. Like I respect the mental out of it because it takes your mind and like it takes up your whole life. Honestly, it takes like isolation, sacrifices, and really hard like persistency to like keep pushing to get to a stage and get on stage for a minute and 30 seconds. People prep for 9 months or more to get to the stage for a minute and 30 seconds. Yeah, but you have to find a purpose in it.
Yeah,
it's more than just a pro card. And it's more than just a trophy. It's more than just placing. You got to know like, why am I doing this and what is it for?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it is, some people need to just like peek in and just watch them work, because it is definitely different.
I have a YouTube channel. I have to upload more videos on it, but
Actually, I just watched one of the videos the other day for the first time. Like, I always know that the videos are up there, and I'll see like little clips of it. But like this time, I actually watched the whole video, and I'm just like, I'm in person sometimes when she's working out, so I see it. But it's just like, this girl's a dog. Like, she a dog, and like I feel like I'm a dog too. But like, man, like watching her, it's just like, when you watch her, it's like, how can you not feel like you can't do this shit too? You know what I'm saying? Like, or you don't want to chase after whatever it is in the back of her mind that's pushing her.
Right.
So, you know, and this is something we talk about, like, as far as fitness in general goes, like, you have to be around people that are, like, not so much on your level with it, because, you know, there may be people that you train with or that, you know, are in your fitness community, and they may not be able to do as much as you can. Right. However,
that's me.
Everyone has a beginning story.
Yeah. So, like, how are they when they're in the gym, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're on some bullshit, then it's like,
it's not intentional.
Right. Well, you know, it just depends. Like, either I just can't fuck with you right now, or like you just can't be in the gym at the same time as me, because like I really like fuck with this shit. And so like if I see that you're playing around or something like that, it's like I can't. It's like there's no respect for it. Yeah,
right. We cool, but don't come to the gym.
Yeah, no, but it's a real thing, because when you're in there, it's like, you know, if you're in there by yourself, most of us don't prepare, like, or don't care to work out by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just have somebody around that you trust to like make sure you're still pushing yourself. Versus you being by yourself, then it's like those days where you don't really want to do nothing. Like, who's gonna stop you from stopping 10 reps early? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is. You just, you know, you went to work out, and any workout is better than no workout. But at the same time, like, how many of those days are you gonna have? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, if you got goals, you gotta push past the bullshit.
I know that's right. We're gonna take a quick little break right quick. We'll be back.
And you edit all your stuff yourself too? Yes, yeah.
It's a lot.
And it's gonna pay off, girl.
Right. It sure will, cause sure. Eventually somebody else gonna have to do all this.
You get to that point.
I just want to show up and just talk.
Do what you gotta do.
That's it. I just want to show up and talk. I don't want to press play.
I always say look for people that are looking for experience, because it's an internship.
Let me talk about this real quick. People don't want to. I've noticed that people here, that's all I can talk about. They feel like they don't have to work their way up. It's like they feel like, oh, I want to do something. It's like you can't, in my personal opinion, you can't call yourself a rapper or call yourself a producer or call yourself anything unless you put in the work to do it. And they feel like, oh, if I decide today I want to be a rapper, I'm a rapper now. And it's just like, it don't work like that. So it's just like, I'll go to somebody and be like, hey, so I got this podcast or whatever, and I need some people to work behind the scenes. And they'll be like, this is my rate. What?
You haven't even done much.
You don't have, what is your resume? What do you have on your resume to try to, then it's like the rate that they be asking for. I'm like, these are professional prices. Like, people who've been doing this for 10, 15 years don't even make that. So don't try to play me. So I just been running. Google. I've been running into a lot of that. It's just a lot of people be trying to play me, and I'm just like, okay, I could just keep doing it by myself at this point.
Yeah, if it's working,
it's been working.
If it's still working for you.
Just like, but yeah, so it's a lot of that going on. But it is what it is.
That sounds about right.
Okay, so moving right along, places to go, things to do. Make sure you guys book with these beautiful young ladies. And I know you have a link in your bio.
Mm-hmm. So
you got a link in your bio. So just plug all your information so they can find you.
So my Instagram is at Issssalifestyle. So it's I for S's A lifestyle. So the things that you can book with me are, because I do not discriminate as far as who can book. I'm actually looking for more teams to work with. So I have a primary team that I do their strength and conditioning for. It's one of the teams that are the team that I am on the coaching staff for. But I'm also wanting to work with teams that need to do more mobility and stretch work. And then also I have one-on-one stretching, and then I do consultations as far as like getting your fitness life together, which we team up with Raya.
My Instagram is at shapedbyhouston_. I have a website. It's shapedbyhouston.net. And you can book online for training. I train in the Mableton area at Madhouse Gym. It is the biggest gym in Atlanta. I think it's
huge.
I think it's the state too. It's like over 500 machines. Anyway, it's 24 hours. I also have online training available too. If anybody wants to train with me and they're not in Atlanta, you kind of get the same love. So.
And she got workout gloves.
Yeah, I have workout gloves and hip thrust pads as well.
I need some gloves because I hate getting the little blisters.
Yeah, they're really breathable too. So
yeah, they suck.
You have to order me some for sure. Okay, so I have this segment on the show called Emmeisha's Playlist, and so I'm just gonna play shuffle. Press shuffle, and that's gonna be our song for today. And then you guys, is there any song that you've been listening to, been vibing to, especially in the gym, that get you going?
It's so funny. I usually jam out to like R&B, right before.
I love working out to R&B.
Well, it's like I have like a transition, like because they're like every exercise I cannot listen to R&B on. You know what I'm saying? Like
if I do a hard set, I'm gonna put on something I need to actually work
something that would make you like want to twerk or like like yell to like So eggplants and peaches it was like that for a second. It was that for a second, but on the way to the gym, it was Hard Times and I Know by Trey Songz. Like the last week I've been listening to, I don't know who sings it, but it's like the song is called Deliver Me, I think. So it's been like a gospel song. It's been like on my mind every time I wake up.
Yeah, I will say my first two songs are My Testimony. That's like the first song I listen to in the morning. And then Keep Coming. I don't know who it's by, but it's like a motivating song like that's just making me like just press forward.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, so let's press shuffle on Emmeisha's playlist and see what our song is today. Oh, they didn't sing no feelings today.
I don't know the song.
I don't know the artist name, Fouché, Deep End, but I like this song. All right, that's all y'all can get because YouTube don't fuck with music like that. So,
will they cut it?
Yeah, I usually just mute it and just be showing what I be doing. But the audio version, though, you can play whatever you want. So I keep it on the audio version. But, okay, so moving right along to ask Emmeisha. So usually when I have guests, I ask my guests to ask me a question. If I don't have an audience question, which I don't have an audience question this week, or we could just pull a card from I'm curious to know. So which one you want to do?
So what got you into wanting to start your own podcast?
Well, as a producer for TV and film, I just felt like this is my way to showcase those skills. So this is a production, and so that's why I started it. I was already kind of podcasting when I first started doing YouTube because I would do like makeup tutorials and hair tutorials, vlogs. I was one of those girls. But then I was just like, I don't really like doing that. But while I was doing my makeup or while I was doing my hair, I would always be like talking and saying motivational things and like just having dialogue or whatever. And I was just like, why not just talk and stop doing my hair and makeup? So I just stopped doing the hair and makeup and just kept talking. Cause like I think I was watching, whose podcast was it? I think I was watching I can't remember whose podcast it was that I was just like, oh, okay, I can do this. And so I just did my research and I was just like, okay, same thing. Set up a camera. I started learning about the audio stuff, and it was pretty much everything that I learned while I was in school. So I was just like, let's get it going. And then I just started. And so this is just my way of transitioning into actually like producing for TV and film. So yeah, that's the overall goal, is to start producing TV shows and movies. So
Okay. Well, see, then you build your experience.
yeah.
I mean, because podcasts are literally just TV shows at this point. Most people aren't watching, or I mean, people still watch their series of things, I guess, but
yeah.
people are watching podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, that is important to today's society.
Yeah.
I would much rather watch a podcast
I just hate
than the news.
how like kind of like everybody feel like they can have a podcast.
Oh yeah, everybody can have a podcast. Yeah.
That's what I don't like about it.
It's just like everybody can go live. That's all a podcast is to me. Is like you're just going. It's like a scripted live.
Yeah.
Like you know what you're gonna be talking about, I guess,
Right.
or like you don't get to pause and edit something because it didn't go the right way or something like that. Like this is just a live, which I'm sure over the quarantine time or whatever made people really feel like they could do podcasts, because if people were tuning into their lives, however many times they were doing it, then they were like, you make some money off of this. And some people are right. Some people do have good podcasts, and other people is just like, you're just talking to the microphone. Like,
Yep.
that's the thing.
Don't be talking about nothing. They don't be talking about a damn thing.
Or they're just talking, just running their mouth, just talking. I'm like, what happened to the episode, sis?
I don't know. I just feel like a lot of podcasts that I've been noticing is like they didn't really put any thought behind it. Like I put thought behind my podcast. Like my whole purpose is just to bring people on to talk about what their lane is. That's the concept. They don't have no concept. They just be talking about whatever the celebrities are doing or whatever Donald Trump said. Like everybody's doing that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, but it is what it is. All right, so I guess we can wrap it up today. We got a good 37 minutes in. So our last segment is Stay in Your Lane, and that's a segment where I just basically say like a little sentence or something where I just try to put people in their place and make sure that they understand that they need to stay in their lane, mind their own business and all that good stuff. So, for today, my message is it's a lifestyle.
Period.
It really is. Like you really have to, it's a mindset shift. Like you just have to wake up every day and be dedicated to whatever your goal is.
But because it is a lifestyle, you will not be perfect. And so in that way of thinking, you are still able to make mistakes or have hiccups and still be able to be on the journey or stay on the journey of achieving your results.
You can live a life and have fun. You can enjoy yourself.
You can fuck up one day.
That's okay.
And the next day you be back on track.
You'll
Right.
be fine.
I love that.
It's practice.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I had fun.
I'm tired.
Last one.